there's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and it's looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified of it.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. Today we're going to talk about the cab area in the Vegas alien video. I was talking about this a couple days ago that I wanted to do this. And for the last couple of days I've been looking at this, and I want to just point out that by no means do I believe that this is going to be the final time that I look at this. I think there's probably more things to find in there. But I had to draw a line for now, and we're going to talk about the things that I was able to discover in the cab area of the heavy equipment that the Kenmore family was filming on after midnight on May 1st, 2023, after an object came down in their yard. And now I just want to point out, before I even get into this, I consider, all of the stuff that I'm pointing out in this video, as well as 2 other videos that I did earlier this week, like talking about the other areas in the yard where there's all these different anomalies. This is to me, this is just supplemental evidence. This is additional evidence to help corroborate the things that we already know for sure. For instance, the big 3 that I talk about. For instance, the creature that chases him out of the yard, or Mr. Chase him out of the yard. That's 1, and then 2 was Lurch over the fence, the creature that appears behind the fence, and you see his head above the fence. And also the final one is UB, the undeniable backbreaker, and the little, it looks like a little gray. It has the same sort of features as a gray alien, and we have the proof. I mean, just before I even go on, talk about what we're going to talk about here today, it needs to be made clear that we already have established that what happened to the Kenmore family last year was a real incident. I mean, there were creatures in the backyard. It's been verified, by crime scene reconstruction expert Scott Roeder and his team. They verified it. I mean, those creatures were really there. I mean, the one that chases them out of the yard, there's no way that could have been something that was faked, because all of the people that were the 3 people that were walking in the backyard, they all saw whatever that thing was at the same time, and they all reacted all at the same time. You can't fake something like that. You couldn't act like that, and you actually see that little something moving toward them in a couple of frames. And then, of course, the creature above the fence is what pretty much got us across the finish line when Scott Roeder earlier this year pointed out that there was no explanation for that. I mean, that there was something there. You see a face, a transparent alien face, the same face that 3 witnesses said they saw that night. Bobby Kenmore, the father, and his 2 sons, Joshua and Angel, they all said they saw that. That's what they saw. That was the kind of creature that they saw. They said they saw 8 to 10 foot tall creatures. And of course, for some reason, these creatures, whatever sort of technology they were using, it prevented the cell phone camera from filming it properly. And there was 66% of the pixels were deleted in that image, and that's why you can't see it as well. It looks like it's transparent, but for a few milliseconds, you do see the outline of this alien face. And then finally is the other discovery that we've been talking about here for the last few months. Undeniable backbreaker behind, in front of the heavy equipment, behind the pickup truck. A little head pops up for a few seconds. You see it. It's clear. There's no question about it. I've done an AI program that I have recognized that there was a face there and created its own animated version. There's just no doubt. There's no doubt that this was a real incident. We have the evidence that backs it up. The totality of the evidence proves it, and there's really no reason to get into that. So I just want to point out that this is just additional evidence to add on to it. Now, as I've been stating in some of the other earlier videos that I did this past week, there are things that I'm not sure of. I mean, that's the whole thing that needs to be made clear here, is that some things could be camera anomalies in some of the things I've been pointing out. Some could be camera anomalies. Some could be artifacts. Some could be compression artifacts. Some things could be from there's a lot of motion blur, because in some moments during the filming of this 1 minute and 41 second video, there's motion blur. And and some of it could be pareidolia, where you think you see a face. But see, the problem here with this video is that there's so many instances of it, and a lot of these instances, the faces take on alien, the way a lot of people have described extraterrestrials or non-human intelligence creatures over the decades. And that's the problem. I mean, it's not like just your regular faces. It's more than that. The fact is that a lot of these faces that we're seeing, they take on this, they look like the classic description of an extraterrestrial or non-human intelligent being. That's the issue. So I don't know what the percentage is of which ones are non-human intelligent beings and which ones are just camera anomalies or pareidolia. I don't know what the percentage would be, but I guess, and I think this would be being conservative. I would say, over 50% are probably alien / NHI, and that's where I'm at with it. I think, some of the stuff could be some other issue with the camera, artifacting from the motion of the camera. Could be that kind of thing. Could be compression artifacts, some of it. Now, not with regard to the three big ones, the ones that I mentioned before. That's what needs to be made clear here. We already have the evidence. We already know, right? This is all just gravy, the rest of it. So with that said, let's get to it. I'm gonna now I focused, but basically the last half of the video, the last I guess third of the video, when after they get chased out of the yard, and then they reopen the gate and they train the camera on the forklift or heavy front loader or whatever it is in the cab area of that heavy equipment. They focus the camera back in that area. And I've been looking at what I've done. I've blown up that video, and we're just going to go through it a couple of times here, and I'm going to point out a few things. And then I also pulled some still photos from this, and we'll look at them later to get a better look at them. What I'm some of the things I'll be pointing out as we go through this. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm just going to be starting and stopping. Okay, this is when they first started filming. If you remember, they were far away. They're standing by the gate, but then at one point they zoom in, and when that happens, there's a lot of motion blur for a few seconds. So just keep that in mind. Okay, we're looking at the cab area here. There's some things here that happen right away, and then we'll talk about it as it happens, when it happens. One thing right there, this is something I have talked about before. I'm going to go back a little bit here because it happens so quick. As you see, on the top left-hand corner of the screen, off to the left there, you see something that appears here. This looks like a face to me. It just flashes there on the screen for a few seconds. I've talked about this one before. You can see an eye there, an eye here, and it looks like there's a head here. I mean, it's only flashes there and then it's gone. But then later on, you can see it looks like something could be standing there, so keep that in mind. There's a lot was going on in the cab and around the cab, and it actually looks down here in the bottom there, it looks like there's something going on too. Looks like there could have been something there too, because it looks like there's an eye here and an eye here, and it's just morphing in and out of our vision. We could see it sometimes and then we can't see it. I mean, but these are things that are going on to the left of the cab. Anyway, I'm going to continue to play here. And then something else really weird happens. And I'll wait to see this right there. It happens so fast you can't really see it, but let me back it up here a few frames. So okay, first on the top, on the roof, on the left-hand side, the roof of this this forklift or whatever it is, the heavy equipment. Looks like there's something that appears right here in the corner. Looks like there's an eye there, but it's only very brief. And then just for a couple of frames after that, something else happens, which is very strange. This, and I can't explain this. It looks like this could be an appendage. This looks like it could be a head. And now there's a couple of ways. There's 3 different ways of looking at this head. Okay, one. This is the eye here, and this is a mouth, right? And right here, and it's a tilt. The head is tilted. I don't think that's what's going on here, though. Or you could look at it. This is an eye here, and this is an eye here. That's possible. I think that's more possible that this is an eye here and an eye here, and this little dark spot right above it, which is not as pronounced as these 2 dark spots, is just nothing. It's just the top of its head. Or this could be an eye here, and this little not as dark spot could be the other eye, and this part could be the mouth. And it looks like there could be an appendage here. Now, later on, I have some enhanced versions of this creature, whatever it is, or thing, or anomaly, whatever you want to call it, and we'll look at that later. But I just want to go through the whole video first and just point these things out. This looks like it could be some sort of appendage. Is it an arm? Is it a leg? I don't know, but we'll check it out later on when we look at the enhanced enhanced photos. But anyway, I just want to point out too that. Yeah, I think that either what we're seeing here, I think that this is something. I think it was moving across. I think one of these creatures was moving from left to right here in front of our view, and it actually turned up later on over here. Because there was a picture that Scott Roeder had identified in this area over here that appears briefly later, and it looks similar to this. To whatever this thing is here. I think that this this is an eye here, and this is an eye here, and this is just a weird looking head. But there's also a possibility that it could be that this is the eye, and this is an eye, just like I was saying. But this is the eye over here, and this is just a big mouth, and its head is that's the way it looks. Because you remember. Angel Kenmore, when he called 911 that night, said they had not just big eyes, but they had big mouths too, and this could be a big mouth. But there is something that appears later on that does have a big mouth, and we'll talk about that too. Anyway, let's continue here. It disappears, and then it's really blurry here as a section, because this is right before they zoom in, and it's not as clear, but you still get that cloud kind of. Looks like there's a cloud or smoke or something. I don't know what that's caused by, but that's similar to some of the other things we've been looking at this past week. And in this area right here, you'll notice throughout the video, it looks like there could be a face, and I've taken numerous still shots of this area, and you'll see that. We'll go through that later, one frame by one frame at a time. As you see, it gets really blurry here because that's when there was a lot of camera movement here. And then down in this area too, there's something that seems to appear. Looks like there's a face that here, and it's moving around sometimes. Looks like there could be an eye here, and this is the head. And we'll just play it out. Yeah. See, now it looks like it's turned. At one point, it makes a really strange. There, right there. Let me go back. Yeah, looks like you can see is this a mouth down here in the bottom, and these are 2 eyes, and this is the head right here. Could be. I thought that this right here might have been something, but I don't think it is. I'm suspicious of this being any kind. I think that this here is just part of the machinery that we're seeing. This thing right here, I thought maybe that might have been something before, but I don't think now. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's the case now. Anyway, let's continue here. There's a lot of other weird things that happen here. A lot of other strange things. Yeah, you'll see back here, this thing continues to move. You can see it looks like it could be an alien head. I'm not sure. But there's just a lot of weird stuff happening. But in the front here, you'll see something materializes. Basically, I think it's an alien, and you're seeing the alien, not pretty much the whole thing. And keep in mind too. Oh, this is one thing I wanted to point out. This right here, I don't know if this is some sort of a camera anomaly, some sort of an artifact, or if it's something that they were doing. I don't know, but it looks like something tears. It looks like there's a tear, and you see black inside. I don't know what was going on there. But look at, there it is. You see like a little black spot here, and then you couple of frames over, just rips open. Looks like it's a rip, and you see blackness behind it. And then it just looks like it closes up. I can't explain that. I don't know if that's an camera artifact or something else that has to deal with these creatures. And then meanwhile, the whole time you'll notice there's something, coming into view over here throughout. So there's a lot to be looking at here. Anyway, let's continue to play here. Okay, this is where there's a thing that shows up right here in this area. Keep your eye on that. It's coming into view here in a second. There, look at. Yeah, this looks like. Now we'll flick through. It looks like this. This is this could be the head right here. This is the head. An eye here. An eye here. Right. You could see it's like a long neck. Right. And you see like an arm hanging there, an arm hanging there, and this is the body. And then we're gonna go back here. You could actually see more of it right there. Look, you can actually see legs, like a leg here, a leg here. An arm here, and this is the head area. Yeah, I think it could be something standing there. It's very possible. I mean, we know that there's something in the yard already, so this makes that, because we know that means it's possible that this is something, that this is an alien creature right here. Right. And then meanwhile, in the same frame, if you look over here, you can see that shadowy thing I've been talking about. I talked about this one before. Standing off to the left of the cab. And you see a little alien face here, right around there. Yeah. And then there's some alien faces that do pop in and out over here as this goes on as well. And we'll see them as they happen. But you see, this thing is still there. It's that what we're talking about. It's a little bit blurrier, but it's still there. This one where you can see its legs, its arms, and possibly its head. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Skinny, just like they've been reported to be. That's all I could say about it. And meanwhile, I'm just playing and starting and stopping. And then there's another one that actually materializes in the cab here. Now, some of this stuff has been talked about, I'm sure, by other podcasters, other people who have YouTube channels have pointed some of these things out. But I'm going to try to go through as much of it as I can here, the things that I've been looking at. And then we'll go through some of the still shots that I have. I'll keep it playing here. Yeah, there's like faces popping in and out, like right there. You saw, it looks like you had a pretty good look at this thing again. It looks like it's moving around at times. Like the head is in different positions. Is it extraterrestrial probably, or NHI, whatever you want to say. Looks like there could be something here too, right up in the front here. Like I'm not sure about this one though. I'm just not sure. Like right here. Is this a shadow of something? I mean, it looked like it could be like a semi-profile. Like, is this an eye here? Is this an eye here? Is this a shadow of a head? And is this like the end of its mouth or something? And this is part of its body and it's looking out over this direction? Maybe. Yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, that's the thing we got to keep in mind. It could be. But it's, again, I don't know. I have some other theories I want to talk about too, about what we might be seeing here, why they're able to do this, and maybe it's beyond just cloaking. Okay, here we go. This is something right here too. This looks like something that was. This sounds like what Angel was describing. He said big eyes and a big mouth, and this right here looks like a big eye here, a big eye there, and a big mouth here. And later on, I'll show you a close-up of that. It looks very strange. And I don't know what this is. Here again, this is something that I was talking about in a different video this week, where there was a black line, bookcased by white. I don't know, is this a creature or is it some sort of an instrument that they're using? I don't know. Are these eyes or is it something else? But so you have a creature here with big eyes. I mean, they're very big. And wait to see the close-up of it. It's really amazing. And a big mouth. You have this, whatever this is. This is something that appeared down in this area. I pointed that out in a different video the other day. And it looks like there could be other alien faces popping in and out. You see an eye here, maybe an eye there, a mouth. Is this an eye here? Is this an eye here? I mean, it looks like there's a lot of stuff potentially going on over here. Is this an alien right here? Right around here? Look at it. Is this an eye here? Is this an eye here? Is this a head? And this is a body, perhaps, and it's looking out toward the camera, possibly. And then, meanwhile, you have this thing right here. That's interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of different things going on here. And some of it, like I said, some of it could be NHI. I think some of it is. I think 50-50. If I say 50-50, I think that's a conservative. 50% of some of these things that we're seeing, in addition to the big three, right, could be related to this, to these beings, whatever they are, and some of it could just be pareidolia or camera anomalies. But I think that's being conservative by saying that 50-50. Let's play it out right to the end here. There's other things that pop up. So yeah, right there. Looked like there was something strange. Some eye. You see like heads and eyes. Like, look at this. Is this something here? There's something here. I don't know. Let's continue. Yeah, there's like things that are popping in and out. Like right there. Like tiny like head. Looks like what's this? A tiny alien head. Is that what that is? Could be, but there's a bunch of different things that are popping in and out of view, and we're going to rewind this and go through the whole thing again because I'm sure I missed some stuff. Yeah, I don't know. All I could say is that we have the evidence now. We could say, yeah, we have proof of this, and this, to me, this is fascinating looking at this. Again, this and this segment, I did slow it down because it was hard to. If you try to watch it in fast motion, it's really hard to try to catch everything that's there. Yeah, but there were some heads that I wanted to talk about here that come popping in the view before I move on to these still pictures. Yeah. Yeah, forget it. Don't forget about this face here too. Like there's something going on down there. Yeah, that's really weird. I mean, it's creepy, actually, very creepy. Like, look at that. Is that an eye? Is that an eye? Is that a mouth? I mean, if it is, wow, that's scary. Okay, and then there was some zooming in and moving around there, and then it gets a little bit clearer. And then you'll see other things popping in. And again, I have some still pictures that I'm going to show here. There, like look, like what's going on here? Is that something? Is this something right here? Could be. Could be. There's that weird, I don't know, is that like a rip? A rip? A rip in this fabric of space, perhaps? Could be. I'm starting to think that, what if, some people say some of the recovered crafts are when they look like, okay, they're 30 feet in diameter, but you go inside, it's like there's like a football field in there, so you wonder, like, okay, say the craft they came down in, say what happened was they're able to bend space somehow, right? And what we're really seeing, right? We're seeing this forklift, but somehow it's merged with the interior of their spacecraft because the space extends beyond their craft, which as we know, was invisible to the eye after it hit the ground, right? But the space inside extended beyond it, and that's what we're seeing. What if a lot of these things that we see popping in and out, right, aren't really in the forklift? They're actually in the craft. It's just that the craft and the forklift is sharing the same space. What if that's what's happening? I know that's mind-bending, but I'm not sure I could wrap my head around it. Like, look at, there's some weird stuff going on right there. I mean, is this something right here? I mean, could be. There's just things going on here that it's just hard to explain. It's hard to, like, if I were to take right here, look at this. Look at this, a little tiny face, it looks like, right in there. Like an eye there, and this is a head around there. And is this something over here? Maybe. And look at right down here, another one. This looks similar to, except smaller. It looks similar to the one that I was pointing out earlier that was up here. Look at an eye there, and there's the head. I mean, what in the world? And there was one really weird thing that I wanted to point out where it looks like the eyes appeared, a set of those eyes appear like on the machine, like on the surface of the machinery. Let me see if I could find that again. Really strange. No explanation for that at all. Yeah, I mean, and that could go along with the theory that, basically the craft and is sharing space somehow with, look at that. I never even, I didn't even notice this one before. Look at right here, like looks like something. Like, what if that's what's happening? Somehow, the interior of the craft, it looks whatever. Say the size is 30 feet in diameter, and it doesn't look that big if you were to see it. If had the family been able to see it, if it wasn't cloaked, if it wasn't invisible after it hit the ground, right? Had the family been able to see it, but it would have looked smaller. But inside, it extends the space. It seems like you're inside of a football field. That's the thing. Remember, the thing hits the ground, and Angel hears 1,000 footsteps running off in all different directions, right? What if, if that's the case? Like, how did they all? Like, somebody pointed this out to me. How did they all fit? If there was all these creatures, and how did they fit into a small craft like that? We see that light coming down. How did they all fit in there? Well, maybe it's they're bending space sometimes somehow, and that's what's going on, and they're able, it looks small on the outside, but on the inside it's big. I don't know. Again, all of this stuff is pure speculation. I don't really know if what I'm saying, has any merit whatsoever. I have no explanation for it. I just want to talk about what we're seeing in this video, and I think it's incredible. We have the proof. We know that there's something here right now, and now the rest of this is just like gravy here. As we could speculate on whether some of these other things that we're seeing here are extraterrestrial in nature, or alien in nature, or whether they were just right here. Now look at this. Yeah, like on the surface of the heavy equipment, looks like sometimes you'll see what looks like two eyes, and it looks like an alien face. Like, how is this happening? You would think pareidolia, it wouldn't work this way, where everything just looks like alien, like extraterrestrial. And even over here, like I've been talking about this figure, on the same frame, there's other things going on in a different part of the frame. Now here's where that other thing looks like a tall creature could have been standing, and it's the whole time, and above it looks like right here, it looks like a shadow of an alien face right here, an eye here, an eye here. The same kind of description. Like, what in the world is going on here? And if you remember, it was this area earlier where a face actually flashed there for a second. So there's a lot of strange things going on in this video and in that cab area, and I don't know I have no explanation for it other than it was non-human intelligence. That's all we can say. But anyway, I think I'm gonna shoot over here now to this to some of these still images that I took. Okay, this was that thing that I was talking about earlier. It's blurry, but then I enhanced it here. Then you can see it a little bit better. Like I said, this looked like an appendage. This thing right here, that's a mirror right there. But whatever this is, that's only shows up in like a couple of frames, and then it's gone. Okay, I have a couple of better images here. Okay, there's a close-up of it, and it's enhanced with the HDR as well. Like here, an eye here, an eye here, or is it an eye here or an eye here, and this is the mouth, and this is the body, and this is some sort of an appendage, whether it's the arm or who knows. And then here's another version of another shot of it. Yeah, I mean, was it using the mirror to help itself move across the front of that forklift? I don't know. And then I have another still image of it here. Yeah, this was really tricked out with all different sorts of color adjustments, lighting adjustments, HDR effect. But you can see here, it looks like this could be an eye. This could be an eye. This is some sort of an appendage. You can make out a part of a body here. Or you could look at it another way and say, this is an eye here, this is another eye over here, and this is its mouth. Whichever way you want to look at it. Or you could really, I don't believe this, but you could say this is an eye here, this is an eye here, and this big thing right here is its mouth. So that would look silly, though. I think that's more like a comic book style creature. But yeah, this thing is really weird looking. I don't know what to say about it. Other than it's alien, I think it's additional proof that there were aliens in that yard, that they again supplements the evidence we already have. Okay, and then moving on to the next thing here. Yeah, this is the creature in the front. This appears in quite a few frames, but it's only in a couple of frames where you can see its legs. Like there's an arm there, a leg here, and this is its head. and it's just standing there looking straight at the camera. And then I did some enhancements on it. There's a close-up of it where there's the leg, arm. This is his body and head goes up like this. And then here's I adjusted on this one. I adjusted the contrast and brightness. And again, you can see it a little bit better now. You can make it out here. An eye here, an eye here. This is its head. It comes down like this, and then it looks like it has a pretty long neck, and arms. An arm, arm on one side, an arm on another side, a small body, and it looks like it possibly could be legs. Maybe this leg is bent here. Perhaps the way that was described by Angel. He said one of the creatures he was looking at had a bent leg. Possibly, yeah, could be. But this is probably the best image that we've seen on this video of a full body, the full body of a creature. I think you're seeing it looking straight at it. Is it hard to see? Is it blurry? Yes, but I think this is a creature. I think it was, it phased into view for a few frames for a little bit actually. It was there for a little while, and then it disappears behind a fog. Is it as clear as Mr. Undeniable Backbreaker? Of course not. I don't think anything in that video is as clear as that. But it's I do think that this is something. Yes, I do. Okay, let's see what's next here. Okay, yeah, this is the creature over here. The big eyes, 2 big eyes and a big mouth. That's a far away shot. Then I did a close up of it. It's harder to see here, but this looks like an eye here, and a mouth here. And then I have another image here where I lowered the contrast, or increased the contrast, and you can see it better. You can see, eye, mouth, head, and it's looking outward. Yeah, very strange. And I don't know what this is. I have no idea. Is it an alien, or is it something that was on it? But you see this when this appears. The only time you see whatever this thing is here, right? It only appears when you see this. I don't know if it's 2 aliens, or if it's some sort of a something that it's carrying. I have no clue. All we could do is speculate. That's it. I don't know. Okay, the next one. What is this one? Okay, yeah, this is this little face here. I did a close-up of it so we could see it better. Yeah, looks like there's an eye there, an eye there. This is a head. And this could possibly be something here, too. Yep. Weird. Very weird. All right, and now this is the creature that I was talking about that was standing back in this area the whole time. I'm going to just go through each of the... I took a bunch of different still shots of it, and we're going to just go through each one. You'll see the different, the way it looks. It's different in every picture, and it's close up too. Anyway, here's a close up of that. Okay, you see an eye there, an eye here. There's the top of a head, and the next one, you see it looks like there's an eye here, and this is the top of the head, and then the next one. Another one. It looks like this is an eye. Well, it looks like it could be an eye down here, actually, an eye down here. I don't know, or it could be an eye here or an eye here, but it looks different than the other ones. And then this one could be. It looks like an eye here, and this is the top of the head. And then the next one could be an eye here, the eye over there, and that's the head. It's just every one is a different position than the one before it. And then here we go again, an eye here, the eye there, the top of the head. And then finally, an eye here, and the top of the head. So that's what that one in the back was looking like. So we have that. Okay, now moving on to the next one. This is this one right here, where you see it looks really strange. I did a blow up of it here. Could be an eye there, and this is the mouth. And this thing looks like it's moving around too when you watch the video version of it. And then finally, here's that face. This is I showed this image before. This is the head that appears off to the left. There's an eye here, an eye there. So there you go. More evidence to this reality. We're going to go through the video one more time here and talk about some of these things that we're seeing. Yeah, this thing here, that I showed those images. I think that there was something there for sure, and I think there was something hanging down here for sure because this thing keeps changing. Let's just focus on this area right down here. It looks like an alien head. Looks like it's moving around. There, it moved around. It moved again. It's in a different position. And then the camera gets everything gets blurry there because there's a lot of movement. But then you see the face; it's moving around again. And that's blurry again. Then you see a alien head there again for a second. Then the eyes right there that's moving again. There's that. Yep, there it is. Yeah, it looks like there was something hiding in that area to me. Could I say with 100% assurance on that one? No, not with any of these. But I do know this. I know that there's creatures back there. Because we do have proof. We do have proof. And what's going on? I have no explanation. Like we've been talking about cloaking, but maybe like I was stating, maybe there's other explanations here. Like I said, maybe they're bending space, and that's why everything looks so out of place to us. We're seeing two different things at the same time, and it just doesn't work. We can't film something like that. Like what if some of this is what we're seeing is actually the inside of the craft, because inside the craft the space extends beyond the structure, the outside structure of the craft, and it extends more into deeper into the backyard and perhaps even into this area here, and that's why we're seeing all these potential creatures. I know it's crazy, but it could be. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that's has been reported. Some of the, I know there was one of the crash retrievals involved something like that. And then look at this again. Here's the shadow creature off to the left here, and above it, like what? Like how is that? Why is this happening? I mean, this looks like your classic alien head. I mean, it's a shadow version of it, but you could see it. An eye here. It's shaped like with the wraparound eyes, and below it looks like there's something moving around the whole time, like morphing from one thing to another, and it's just really weird looking. So yeah, this whole backyard, I am convinced that the backyard was filled with all kinds of different creatures, and what sort of technology they were using, I'm not sure if we'll ever know. But there most certainly was something there, and this is fascinating to me. Yeah, look at this. This is I can't explain this. I don't know what this is. This is where that bigger creature was, right next to it to the left, and then right here there's this weird thing. I don't know what it is. Can't say. Yeah, it looks like a face appeared. Yeah, there's faces appearing everywhere, folks, in this video. Down below here, you can see one. Yeah, right down there. Right in here, potentially. Yep. Is this an announcement? Like I've been talking about, like I talked about in the in my recent show. Was this their way? Is this the way they're? Is this their version of landing on the White House lawn? Okay, here, we'll have this family film us on cell phone video, and everybody could look at it, and at first they're not going to see anything, but it's going to take people a lot of time to finally see it. And so, and maybe that's what it was the whole time. Who knows? I don't know. All we could do is theorize. We have no idea what was going on here, except that it was out of this world. Not something that we're used to. We're not used to these kind of things, and it's hard to, when we see it, it's hard for us to try to describe it. Actually, it's hard to understand what we're seeing. I mean, if you're a scientist, where do you begin with this? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Well, I think you begin, actually, I guess the one place you could begin is with the ones we're able to prove. And then you try to figure out, is there something here, or is all of this pareidolia? Is it all of it is camera artifacts or something to that effect? But I don't think it is. I think some of the stuff here is, I mean, they were pointing back here at this area, and they were saying that they were seeing something back here. I don't think that the camera picked it up as well as they were seeing it. I'm starting to really think that. But you see, and I'm not sure if they realized how many things were actually in their backyard. The only thing they were talking about was two creatures 8 to 10 feet tall. I think it was more than that, and I think based on the 1,000 footsteps comment, I think, and looking at this video, there's things all over the place in here. I mean, look right up here. I mean, it could be something. Looks like a potential head up here, an eye there, an eye there, in the background. You know, they're all over the place, all over the whole yard. Yep. Anyway, I just want to say thank you all for joining me. Until next time.